Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the series. Rex Rumplebee here with Resourceful Roxie. Waking up from a long nap in the log sort cabin. Hoping for an aurora this evening so we can get down into the mine. We've pretty much stocked our gear the way that we like it. And we are ready to enter. We do need some water before we commit to going inside. What I'd like to do the next few minutes is hopefully figure out some sticks and make a small fire somewhere so we can boil up some water. I'm not 100% sure if there will be an aurora this evening or not. I'm not sure there's any way to know for sure if they're coming. But we're going to put ourselves in position so that if the opportunity arises, we're ready to pounce on it. Probably be better to keep the light on instead of wandering around in the dark looking for sticks. If we don't get an aurora tonight, we will wait until daybreak and head up to the abandoned overlook, and we'll survey the Polaroid area. We can also go back to the coast, to the edge of the ice on the shore over by fishing camp and inspect that locker that we were curious about but too scared to open. And there's a couple other miscellaneous crafting tasks that we can do back at the garage. I also want to gather up the remainder of our first bear kill. There's meat left in the Rabbit Grove campground. The Rabbit Grove cabin, as well as the train unloading trailer. And both of those locations have bear meat from our first kill, which is, it might even be too late. It was going bad when we picked up the first batch. It was at like 22%. That was a couple days ago. So it's possible that that bear meat is ruined, which would be unfortunate, but not wasted forever. We would just need to get to cooking level 5 before it becomes usable to us again without risking illness. I also wanted to do an experiment with the potential for parasites from the predator meat. The more I think about that, I'm not 100% sure that you can even get parasites from bear and wolf meat on Voyager difficulty. Going back and forth between the difficulties and not playing the easier ones very often, sometimes I get confused which game mechanics are turned on and which ones are disabled. I guess I was thinking that since the scurvy became enabled in Voyager versus that not being an option in Pilgrim, that some of the other like food preparation and consumption requirements would be enabled as well. But we've had a couple of bear fillets that have not affected us at all, and it's making me think that that might not have been anything that we needed to worry about at all. So to test that, we will just eat bear meat until it tells us that we have a risk of parasites, and that may or may not happen. Alright, I'm just wasting some time, or passing some time as we get the water boiled. Pretty much right there on weight, so that we're not heavy, but a lot of it's consumable, 10 kilos of food and water. So that is pretty much right where we want to be. I guess I'm gonna go into this mine and maybe just spend an hour or two passing time and just see if an aurora comes. So let's pass 1 hour and see what happens. So far, nothing. We can give this until daybreak, but I don't want to get too close to daybreak because I don't want to get stuck down there if we do make it down. This might just be one of those things that we keep an eye on for the remainder of the run and jump on the opportunity if we get it. I had this feeling that we might get an aurora tonight, and that wasn't founded on any knowledge or experience. I just had a I guess I was just putting the positive vibes out there, but so far we're a good way through the night and not seeing much of anything. So let's go 1 more hour. Fortunately, we can't sleep, so we're just kind of at the mercy of passing time. Now the sun's coming up, so I think that was a negative for tonight. It's alright. Worse things have happened. We're going to eat some food so that we're full, drink some water so we're hydrated, drop some gear off at log sort, and then probably drop the food off at log sort, keep everything else with us, and then take a big loop around the far west side of the map to pick up the rest of that bear meat. I'm going to leave the flashlight behind. It sounds like it's a blizzard outside, which is going to limit our movement significantly. We'll make it back to log sort, maybe sleep for a couple of hours, which will give us some energy as well as give this storm a chance to blow through. I was really hoping we could get that aurora right away. It would have been cool to kind of discover the mine and clear it out. But alas, nature was not in agreement. Alright, I think what I will do is drink a little bit of water, maybe go 2 hours of sleep. If the wind is still blowing, maybe we'll do 2 more. Sounds like a pretty good storm out there. How we doing on recovery time? Alright, we're closing in on it. Less than 100 hours. So that's less than 4 days. It might just be windy out there now. So we'll take a look outside. And just go ahead and eat first. Just eat the bad stuff. Get all filled up. And should be pretty good. We're a little bit too heavy to put all the food in there. That's all she does. We'll just leave it here on the floor. Is there firewood in here? Yeah, there's a ton of firewood in here. That'll solve our problem. So food now is back in there, and this little bin can be firewood. See if I get away with carrying that coal with us, because I have an idea for that. Pretty much filled up there. Alright. It's still storming. It's actually pretty bad. Since I have a little bit of energy drained, I'm just gonna go ahead and sleep for 2 more hours. That gives the storm 6 hours to blow through. If it's not done after that, then we'll just move along with our lives. Kind of sounds like it's still blowing out there. But I think that the blizzard is passing. I see blue sky in the distance. So I'm going to walk towards fishing camp. I'm going to open that locker that's out there on the ice. And then we're going to do our loot. We've got a wolf. Couple of wolves. What kind of weapons are we holding? Bow and arrow and some rocks. Rather not engage with the wolves right now, just because we kind of have better things to do with our lives. We'll address the wolves once we've collected all of our existing bear meat, or if we are forced to address them directly. But for now, just giving them a little bit of space should be alright. I I think that locker that had washed up was over by fishing camp right when we discovered the rifle under the bridge. If my memory serves me correctly, which it rarely does. Turned into a nice day. Kind of slept through most of it. Hope we can get up to the lookout before dark so that we have a successful survey. And then who knows, maybe we'll get an aurora tonight. That's kind of what we're hoping for at this point, is to be able to get down into that mine. Alright, so do we see anything? This stuff could also wash away. I don't know how this works. I mean, it makes sense that stuff would come in and out with the tide, and you know, it's possible that it's gone. But there's the bridge. I don't see anything. I'll walk up to this ice and okay, maybe I see something ahead of us. It's starting to come into view. I think we still have it. I guess I'm just gonna dunk myself and go for it because the ice is thin. I don't know how that works. Cattail and a cured rabbit pelt. That's nice. Rifle cartridge, we can use that. Oh, it's a pallet now. Okay, so that locker was either not over here or it washed away. Both of those are viable probabilities. That's okay. We were really just risking our safety by looking at it. I can't imagine that there's anything in there that we would be elated to have found. Although a heavy hammer would be a nice thing for Roxie to come across in the event that she someday leaves Coastal Highway. She could transition right over to Desolation Point via the Crumbling Highway and forge herself some arrowheads. We have a ton of arrow shafts already, but only 2 arrowheads, and we can't make those unless we have a forge. And in order to use the forge, we need a heavy hammer. I think usually on the easier difficulties like Pilgrim and Voyager, you're likely to find the tools that you would need for forging, like the heavy hammer and some coal, in the map where the forge exists. So for example, in Desolation Point, I would expect to be able to find a heavy hammer in there somewhere. I don't know where it would be, but it's unlikely that we would have to search too far and wide to come across one. Figured I'd take a little sidetrack here just to see what's up here. Getting a little bit off track by going this way. But maybe we'll find something cool, because this seems like a approved path. It's all in the spirit of exploration, these first couple of series that I plan to put out. Once we get into Interloper, maybe Stalker, depending on how hard it is, we'll be a little more of a nomad and travel through different regions, picking up the necessary tools to survive and establish ourselves for a long-term strategy. But these single region challenges are kind of fun because you just get so familiar with the map that you select, or in our case that was selected for us. It's pretty cool to come back on a different run with a new character and a harder difficulty and know exactly where you're going and what you're trying to do. Alright, we got here just in time. Okay, that's a lot of heavy bear meat. And this place is now empty. So we can turn this loot stash into a searched. If you're using an Xbox controller or a game controller, I've never been able to find the button for smudging out your spray paint, but if you are playing on a PC like I am, just right click your mouse, that'll do the trick. Okay, we've got company, and he is probably going to be very hungry. I'm almost wondering if it's worth it to try to take this guy down. I think we're too heavy to carry all this meat. This is just too slow of a walk. Let's see what happens. First of all, I'm going to drop a lot of this meat so I'm a little more mobile. Where'd he go? Hey, I thought we were hanging out. You see, he lost interest when I dropped the meat. He was stalking me for what he smelled. Alright, so remember, they don't like fire. So this is kind of a way to protect yourself when you suck with the bow. Here he comes. Got him right in the neck. So that worked out pretty well. But he ran away when he got too close to the fire. Versus if I hadn't had the flame and just aimed at him, he would have charged me and he would not have been deterred. He would have continued to charge me. So with that kill, I think we've got a change of plans, right? Gonna build a little fire. And the sun is setting. So can try to be efficient out here, and we'll harvest this wolf while we cook some bear meat. We'll just do the wolf in whatever size of fillets it'll take each fillet of bear meat to cook, and then we'll repeat the process and have ourselves an efficient little afternoon, evening up here in the cabin. This is all assuming that we are capable of starting a fire. Okay. Start with a 2-hour fire and throw some bear meat right on there. That's going to take 1 hour and 21 minutes. And what's your wolf doing? 30 minutes for the hide, and that should be just about perfect. Our second wolf just going to lay this stuff out so it immediately starts to cure. We'll go back to work. Alright, these have 20 minutes. And wow, we can get quite a bit of this in 20 minutes. Oh, did you see that? It went to frozen and like doubled the time. Probably could have built the fire a little closer to him to keep him warm. Alright, we got 40 minutes on the fire, another hour, 20. Drink a little bit of water so that we're not dehydrating when we cut him up. Okay. So we got 3 kilos of wolf meat out of that. It's pretty good. Oh, did I forget to put my torch out? Bummer. I thought I extinguished it when I... Oh, here it is. That's an old one. Alright. Playing the waiting game. We got another evening. Have this cook up to 61%. 27 minutes. I don't think there's anything we can really do, so let's just pass some time. Sun is set. It's a pretty nice night so far, so let's try one more. I'd like to kind of get moving back to log sort so we're not walking in an aurora. How much does this make me weigh if I bring all this? Let's see. Might need one stick there. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay. Maybe leave this one unattended. Let's go put these ones inside real quick and see. Find the cooler right here. Nope. Okay, that's better. I think we can make that work. And I mean, since we are coming back here, oh, I'd like to bring those pelts with us more than anything, though. The guts can stay. We have thousands of those at home. So what have we done here? Those should cook. We're 6 kilos heavy. They smell delicious to the wolves. And we'll walk down at least to fishing camp and drop off this meat. I just don't want it to spoil completely, because then it becomes difficult to use for a long time. Well, guessing we will most certainly encounter should have eaten before we left. Guessing we will most certainly encounter a wolf. Probably should have gone up the hill, because that other trailer has bear meat in it as well, which is probably going bad by now. I just have a feeling that we're going to get an aurora, though. I want to be in position for that more than anything else. Food is obviously not a top priority because it's everywhere. But it probably would have been smarter to actually wait for the aurora to happen instead of marching towards it without it actually being there. Alright, so now I'm getting hungry. I'm going to switch to a traditional flare. So I think it's windy out on the street. I don't have any food at fishing camp, I don't think. So I'm just going to keep walking to the log sort. And if I have to, I'll eat some of these cattails. So that's a nice little kind of shortcut. I mean, it was basically a road, but it definitely cut off quite a bit of the distance, then going all the way to the bridge and then making like a 90-degree turn back to the log sort. So that didn't feel like too bad of a walk. And since we are trying to kind of operate at night, I think I'll go up the hill past the mine and try to make it to the overlook. There, the abandoned overlook. And survey the Polaroid. Oh, that's why it felt like not that far of a walk, because this is fishing camp. What do we have? No food. Okay. I knew that felt too good to be true. Should probably see, is it cold? No. Should probably eat some of these cattails so as not to starve. Eat like 5 of them and keep walking. I don't see wolves, which is good and bad. Have a little water too. I was thinking of taking this coal that we have and shuttling it out to the Waterfront Cottage base, but if we ever do go to Desolation Point with Roxie, there's going to be so much coal in those mines that that's kind of a silly task. So what I'll do when we get to log sort is cook up the rest of this bear meat. That'll help us pass some time and see if we're going to get an aurora this evening. And if not, we'll go up the hill and finish the Polaroid project. Turned out to be a nice night. Love these like blue clouds in the off the horizon. I don't know that we've seen an aurora at all since we've gotten to Coastal Highway. So I feel like we're due for one. If nothing else, we're due for one. Alright. Did these cook? I don't think that they did. Every time we leave one unattended. Alright, so yeah, screw it. We'll just burn some coal. Those are brand new. All of the cooking time that we left them with was erased. That's okay. Did we bring anything else out there that we can put away? Yes, we want to get this pelt curing. I'd really like to be able to put the bed down here, but I don't think it's going to fit anywhere. Because it'll block the door there. It's too wide there. It's just going to have to be one of those go up the stairs. Guess we have a couple of other cabins to choose from over here, don't we? Or we could sleep in the trailer. Maybe. Is there a bed in there? Yeah. Not, oh yeah, but this guy's in here. It might be a little weird. Oh, look, we overlooked. Oh, I thought that was a magnifying glass. It's a floating cup. Yeah, I'm not sure. We could always remove him respectfully. 30 minutes of time, but this isn't really a place we're going to be spending a whole lot of time, so can you grab the corpse? No. We'll just let him rest. And this one's all boarded up. So the loft is what we get. Alright, How are we doing over here? 34 minutes of fire. Get the show on the road here. Alright, let's give her a try. I ate 2 in a row. Hour 21. No indication that there's parasites. I'm starting to think that that's an interloper thing. She's pretty tired now. Maybe we go inside and sleep for an hour on this one. Walk up the stairs. For 1 hour sleep. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's going to be an aurora kind of night. I think we'll cook this, finish cooking those ones. We'll try again with an unsupervised. Needs an hour 20. It'd be nice to find one more stick so we don't have to use coal or a bigger piece of wood. Something across the street maybe? These will work. Alright, hour 7. Just needed 1 stick. Okay. Let's go to sleep for a couple of hours. Give the aurora one more chance to shine. And if it doesn't, after that, probably be too late. Yeah, sun's coming up, so strike 2. Let's give ourselves a few hours of sleep so we can make the walk. I mean, it's possible that you can't even go down that elevator. Oh, this feels familiar. Waking up to a blizzard 2 days in a row. forgot we have all our firewood in here. We need to bring that stuff outside so we don't forget. And make some tinder before we go back out there. There's really no point in walking up there in the blizzard because we're trying to survey. So we could go get lost in the snow, or we can sleep for a couple hours and see what happens. Sounds like it might have ended. It's midday now. What's she doing on hunger? She could probably eat one. Let's bring the... Ooh, it's gone moldy. Maybe we leave that when we're not on a mission. Should be enough. Weather looks better. Much better. Or not smell, which is good. And definitely want to go to the right. Although I'm not 100% sure how we're going to link up to that upper tier. See how much ground we can cover just by running up the hill. Okay. Is this the road we want to be on? Not quite. That's going to be too steep. This could work. Nope. Okay. We're on the road. That's going to lead us right over there. Walking into the wind. I'll collect some sticks for our bear cookout. Clouds rolling in fast. She's totally warm though. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick pause right here. Brutal wind. Just punishingly slow. Trying to stay out of the wind as much as possible, but I don't think this is working that great. If I can sneak up here, I don't know. Yeah. Alright. Unsuccessful on getting an aurora, but knocking off all the other little menial tasks along the way. And there's the survey location. Let's see what it does. It didn't even really do that much. Kind of just gave us like from coastal town site over to the tooth. Oh, maybe it got all the islands and stuff too. Let's see what we got in terms of there's 8 left. What are they? All stuff that we've been to that we just haven't surveyed. That could be kind of a cool thing to do. Let's finish those. Next time we're at the edge of the map, we can work our way back. So. Haven't been in here in a while. This place we left empty. All right. What time is it? It's the end of the afternoon. And we've got some areas to survey. So maybe we go to that trailer, the train unloading, and grab that bear meat. Knock out a couple surveys along the way. Kill the end of the daylight. Hope for an aurora. We're pretty close to that position already, so we should be able to knock out quite a few of these little survey sections. And then we'll have could also leave some gear in the train unloading cabin, because that's kind of our staging area for heading out to Pleasant Valley and potentially someday leaving the coastal highway. We could kind of shed our kit and leave it there, and then pick up the replacement kit back at the garage. It will expose us for a little while. Because we'll be without tools, but there's really not a whole lot of need to be carrying all the tools at this point anyways. We've got Coastal Highway pretty well mapped out. Just gonna see if I could maybe get this wolf before he sees us. It's kind of a weird spot over here, kind of stuck. Well, he saw us. I wanted to try to get some high ground and see if I couldn't take a shot at him to where he couldn't reach us. Should be a nice way to take out a wolf. But I think he will probably be able to walk anywhere that we can. Let's take a Hail Mary. I hit him. I think I just scared him. Okay, he's coming back. Might have done. Yeah, I don't think I hit him. I think I just scared him. Let's see if I can get up above him again. Just kind of keep a barrier between him and me, if possible. There he sees me again. I'm not 100% confident in my archery skills at this point to go toe-to-toe with him, especially because, you know, we're still working with 35% condition. So we'll do a little wolf dance here. And maybe we can get into an advantageous position. Let's see if he can... So if I aim right now, he's going to charge me. But the question is, can he get up here? Yep. I think that is a yes. Did they already come around? Is he still down there? I think he came around. Alright. Well, the old wolf shuffle. Couldn't really find a advantageous spot to take a shot at him, and I wasn't brave enough to just go head to head with him. What we can do is get our torch going and give ourselves a little barrier of protection. Should be able to survey. So there's the abandoned mine. Alright. We'll just leave it alone. This trailer is completely searched. I don't think we left anything in here. So just go and walk right past it. Should be able to sneak down this little road and then continue west. Getting a couple of survey locations along the way. Next spot is our train unloading. The silent clearing is another spot that's back over by the garage. I think that's above the cabin above the town site where earlier in the series we went up the hill and found the plane crash. And then if you kind of take that road or path, I guess it would be west from there. Came up to the silent clearing. Sun's getting ready to set, and Roxie's getting a little bit tired. Be good to get a couple hours of sleep before nightfall so that we're not exhausted if we get an aurora. If we got our coveted jerry can out of this trailer. But let's go ahead and clear it out completely and we'll move everything to the train unloading. There's really nothing of use in there, but just make it official. Looks like the weather might be coming in too. Our windproof flare in hand in case we encounter another curious wolf. I wonder if the bear meat in the train unloading trailer is going to be completely spoiled. Because when we went back to the Rabbit Grove cabin, It was at like 11%. And it's been a while since we've been up here. Find out soon enough. Fortunately, with this wind, it's going to be really hard to cook it. Maybe I can go tuck myself into that tunnel. Alright, survey the train unloading. And we'll pop in here. How did we do? %. We barely made it before it was completely ruined. Let's see if we can cook it up and get some quality out of it. Alright, what did we bring from? Got a pair of shoes. I'm gonna throw those on the ground. I like having the shoes displayed. Just have a little shelf of gear here. Kind of the good stuff. We had an extra pry bar. 2 extra pry bars. Put one of them out here for grabbing. And we kind of talked about leaving a kit up here, didn't we? Are we brave enough to do that? We definitely don't need the can opener. Those can definitely stay behind. We'll bring the bow with us for sure. And maybe I leave the hacksaw and the hatchet. And then we'll go make a fire. Can leave a bunch of this tinder. We'll bring the sticks outside so that we can make a good fire. We'll leave those behind. Oh, we have this energy drink that we're holding on to. Okay, we need to make some water as well. Alright. Let's make a note. Train unloading cabin. Oh, we already have it marked if there's a hatchet here. We should double check that we're not leaving 2, but we... Hacksaw, hatchet, pry bar, fire starting clothes. There's already a hatchet here. Okay. In that case, let's not get fancy. We got room in the container. We'll leave the pry bars behind. And we'll go cook some bear meat, which is going to take us into the evening. But we really have to cook it up because the next time we come back here, it's going to be completely spoiled. That'll give us a chance to eat. We already looked at this guy? Yeah. So we're just gonna make a fire with our fallen comrade here. Alright. Start with all the sticks. We'll move into the coal if we have to. Might end up just killing some time here. See how we're looking. 53 hours. Just over 4 days to go. I don't know if I broke up the episodes into shorter segments or if the cheat death penalty is longer on Voyager, but it seems like we've put more hours into this run than with our Pilgrim Reckless Rex. I'll have to go back and look at that, but definitely in terms of the episode count, we have exceeded what we did with Rex. So we need to make it over to the campground and the fishing camp somehow. And then we'll make sure that we get the tunnel before we head down the hill. So over to the Ravines Railroad Tunnel, down through the Bear Creek Campground, over to fishing camp, then back to the Silent Clearing, the garage, Crumbling Highway, and we should have the whole map surveyed. We still haven't made it into bottom half of the mine. So aside from that detail, we've been everywhere on Coastal Highway that's a surveyable location. Now we just need to make it official. I was gonna go pick up a few sticks, but it's pretty desolate up here. Maybe there's something behind the hill up here if I can get up there. That looks kind of steep. This old road doesn't have a whole lot of... Oh, what we can do is run over to that. We can run over to the tunnel while that bear is cooking. I think I'll leave this stuff behind so I don't get accosted by wolves. Maybe we'll find a few sticks along the way. Roxie's getting pretty hungry now. I still do have some food on me. She's also getting tired. So maybe I... leave a bear meat cooking unsupervised and sleep for a few hours. Not sure how close you have to get, to the tunnel to get the survey location, but I usually wait until I see the prompt pop up that says, you know, head to the tunnel or like to the ravine. Leave coastal highway and then survey it from that spot. Had pretty good luck with that. Alright, we know peaches are heavy. Start with those. Kind of went in the opposite order for that because peaches are hydrating us a little bit and the peanut butter was dehydrating us. Go back to the fire, boil up some water, and then put some bear on there. Carry the rest of it, with us raw. Try to get the Bear Creek tagged as well as fishing camp. And then make it back to log sort in hopes of an aurora. But if the aurora comes first, we might have a little back and forth. I don't know if I have enough. Oh, they let that go a little long. 37 minutes. Okay, well, those are only taking 34 minutes, so... maybe we can make ourselves a little cookout. Of course, we're going to run out of tinder. Yep, now I have to go back inside. A little bit windy over here. Let's try not to make that mistake twice. Alright, the problem with these smaller fillets and leaving them unsupervised is all I have left is coal, and those are going to burn for too long if they're like 34-minute cook times. Let's see what we got here. Just put, so that's an hour. Yeah, these are all going to take like 30 minutes, so what we'll do is just stick around. Get the rest of this cooked up. maybe except for one. Ah, not quite enough time. Wonder if we can get creative and use this fire. That actually worked out pretty good. Just let that one burn out. And if I hadn't, yeah, these only have 9 minutes. And I just have the one left, right? 34 minutes. Still didn't quite work out. Throw a coal on there. Oh, we gotta make water anyways, so. -39 minutes. Liter of water left. 5 minutes left on the fire. That's pretty efficient. We've got 1 liter of water, which is maybe not quite as much as we would have wanted, but okay. I'm gonna sleep for like 4 hours and see if we happen to get an aurora. If we don't, I'm just gonna sleep for the night here. Yeah, I don't think so. Alright, well that's probably a good place to stop this episode. Tomorrow we will head over to the Bear Creek campground and survey that area, drop down into fishing camp, survey that area, and then make our march back to the east, covering the Silent Clearing, Quonset Garage, and the gateway over to Crumbling Highway. That'll put us in a pretty good spot for just a few days left to recover to full health, and we'll maybe deck out a base for Roxie in her final days on Coastal Highway on the Voyager Challenge. So we'll make sure she's got a nice full belly, eating questionable bear meat, drink some water, and we will say goodnight to Roxie. And thank you guys for spending your time with me today. We'll catch you on the next one.